What's up, Fit Fam? This is Giovanni of Gio's Logic, your host of Fitness Junkeez. I hope this show meets you in good health and spirits, and if not, I hope it inspires you to do something about it. Well, this young lady that I'm about to talk to did get inspired by fitness, and her story is going to blow your mind. She's not a bodybuilder, competitive bodybuilder, bikini bodybuilder, wellness bodybuilder. She's not a personal trainer, but she is a fitness junkie, and you're really gonna hopefully be inspired by her and really understand how fake news is a real thing. So without any further ado, how are you, Nikki?
Very good. How are you?
I'm great. So I ask all my guests, how did you become a fitness junkie? And that's going to take us on a path that most people aren't going to expect, but how did it happen?
Well, I went from literally dying to now killing it because I had a freak medical accident that's never happened to anybody in the history of medicine. I found myself getting sick one day. I was a cocktail waitress at a club, had some pain in my chest at 33 years old, on my birthday, no less. And it started getting worse and worse, and I ended up in ICU for 5 days in full-on septic shock, which has a very high death rate. Usually people lose limbs and die. And I obviously didn't. I'm here today.
Thank God.
Yeah, it was a wild one. I was at work. I was just doing my thing, waiting on tables, starting my day. It was about 7:00, and like I said, I started getting pain in my chest, all left side. I was getting numb, which was really weird, and that's like symptoms of a stroke.
Right.
All of a sudden, it got worse and worse, and then I kind of went black. I don't even really remember the whole entire thing. I had to get the story from basically everybody around me. So evidently, I kind of collapsed in pain. I was rushed to the emergency room. Not going to say the name of the hospital.
Okay.
In the emergency room for a little bit. I had 104 fever, and they decided to send me home. They said, the nurse said, "Oh, you have implants. You're having a mastitis kind of, inflammation of the whatever of your implant. Go home. You're fine." Gives me painkillers, Percocet. So I'm like, okay, I take the painkillers. I go home.
They sent you home with 104
fever. Yes.
Wow.
So I get home. Fever gets higher. Goes up to 104 point something, 105. My husband had said, this is really bad. He calls my doctor, who was out of town. He was in Salt Lake City skiing, and he was blown away. He's like, this isn't good. He flew back. He said, meet me at my office, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, met him. He sent me for emergency blood. My white blood cells were about 44,000. At that point, that's extreme. That's like emergency. Sepsis is considered a medical emergency, like a heart attack, because you have hours until you ultimately could die. So my doctor met us at the hospital, and the hospital, they really didn't even know what was going on. My doctor was screaming at them, and meanwhile, I'm in excruciating pain. I'm screaming, and I had the weirdest symptoms. The symptoms of sepsis are so weird. You're like thirsty. I drank a coffee this big sitting there, and I had pain, blurry vision. I couldn't. I didn't know my name. I didn't know where I was. I was getting delirium.
Wow.
And I was shaking. I had a seizure, they said, and all I heard was, what I remember, besides what was told to me, was that I just said I couldn't breathe, and all I heard was sepsis, and I knew that was bad. Didn't know what it was at the time.
Right.
And they put me on morphine. Morphine didn't work. They had me on Dilaudid. So Dilaudid is what Michael Jackson was on regularly. And mind you, I'm 4'11" at 100 pounds, so you could have hit me with a baseball bat, and I wouldn't have felt a damn thing.
Wow.
So they were just like, all right, we got to get her for surgery, sign this. And they're like, do you want to take out the implant? I don't know what the hell I was signing. I'm like, yeah, sure. So, I wake up in ICU, and the pain was a little bit more controlled. I had no idea where the hell I was. And I looked down, I'm like, okay, I have one boob. I was really freaked out because I really didn't know what had happened at all.
Right.
I was really
because you were loopy.
You put all this medication in me, and then you're like, how do you feel? I feel great, So I woke up, I had one boob. I'm asking the doctors, like, what happened? So they basically, my surgeon, I had an infectious disease specialist. I had a whole team of doctors tell me what happened. They said, well, you would have died, and then in the time that I was in ICU, they couldn't get my white blood cells down. So I stayed in this kind of semi-critical condition on morphine and Dilaudid for 6 days, and the whole 6 days was just a blur. I couldn't eat.
Right.
I couldn't function, and my chest looked like you're happy that you're alive, obviously, but as a woman, and you look down, and I have a big black, just bruise, and I'm all taped up, and I was just freaked out. I went into like instant depression.
Before you finish, George, do you have any of those hospital shots?
Yeah, I don't even remember that picture. They said that when they were taking that picture, I said I was flying. That you can see at my left side, all completely flat. I had to walk around like that for a while with the bandages. It was very painful. And right there, that was 12 days after my surgery. That's all water weight. I gained 16 pounds in a matter of 6 days in water because they have to flush out the infection. So I had these tubes, and it was not a pretty thing to look at. But I was very bloated, and it was so painful.
Wow. So how soon after that were you in depression? And I could only imagine.
Well, they call it ICU delirium and ICU depression because, you're in this bed, you're in a strange place, and they don't, it's not like it is on TV. What you hear in the background is just like, you hear people dying. It's horrible. Like I heard people coding, and my hands are sweating talking about it. I get like this PTSD. God. Beds are going back and forth, and in the midst of the 5 days, I'm not very religious, but I'm Roman Catholic. I had a priest come in, and that scared the shit out of me.
Right.
I was like, what's going on?
Isn't that the end stuff?
That's what I thought. He's like, can I pray for you? And I said, listen, I'll take anything I can get right now.
Right.
So he gave me, a rosary, and he was going from bed to bed. I had my own room, but he was, since I was an infection risk, I had my own room. There was plastic on the doors, and he was saying prayers for me, and I was just, going through the motions, but it was something.
So you were telling me that you got strep throat, and then it moved into your
This
breast
is where
tissue?
it got very confusing. So I was fine. I had absolutely no symptoms, felt fantastic that morning. In the time when they were testing me and everything, tested my blood, I came up very, very high for the strep throat infection, strep A or strep B. I can't remember offhand which one it was. I think it was strep A. And usually, you get strep throat. That's what happens. But my body decided, oh, hey, it's not going to go into your throat. I do have my tonsils. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But it decided to go right down into my breast implant pocket. And then it went right to my blood. And once an infection goes to your blood, and you can get this is what I kind of argued with people. You can get it from anything. Like you can get it from a paper cut. And if you Google sepsis, people have gotten it from UTIs, childbirth, any kind of infection in your body. You can once it goes to your blood, and then it just goes rogue because you can't control it. Once your blood's infected, think of everything that it affects, your brain, your every limb. So people, when your body's going into shock like mine was, your body goes into this panic mode, so it's trying to save your vital organs. So basically a lot of people lose their hands and their feet because it's pulling everything on the inside, all your blood. And then, gangrene sometimes kicks in with people. It gets bad.
So this doctor or nurse or whatever initially blamed it on your implants, but it wasn't the implant. The implant might even saved you. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. The implant may have saved her.
Yeah, people are very, some people are against plastic surgery, and whatever makes you happy, I'm always pro, be happy. But yeah, it just affected the pocket instead of, my heart, my lungs, and everything else. Of course, I lost my whole entire breast. I got a complete mastectomy on the one side. I needed a total of 10 surgeries, and 4 or 5 of them were in a 2-year time frame. I walked around 4 months. I had just one boob.
4 months.
Yeah, because they wouldn't clear me for surgery. So, and everybody said, online, I got completely crucified. Like, why would you just take them out? Hey, look, if they load you up with painkillers and Dilaudid, I would have signed a release to do anything. I don't even remember what happened.
Right.
But my doctor at the time, after the fact, he had said, I wasn't going to take both out because we want to localize the infection. If I start cutting on this side, the best, I had one of the best doctors in the country alongside my surgeon. He said, we have to just take the one side out, and it's not going to be pretty, but you're not dead. So.
Right. So, fake boobies are one of my favorite topics, but in this sense, I want to kind of get a feeling of maybe when you got them originally and maybe why, and then I know people were giving you shit about your boobs. Mm-hmm. And I hate that you went through so much hate, and it would seem like just the opposite should have happened, because you got this freak ailment that almost killed you.
People are really tough online. There's a lot of trolls, and I find it funny because some of these people, they send you their thoughts and prayers and positivity and all this body positive stuff that we're going through now in the world. But the same people were the first in line to just bash me like crazy.
Wow.
It was just, even during my reconstructive surgery, I was getting tons of just backlash, like, oh, they look crooked. Oh, you have a crease there. They look lopsided. I go, yeah, well, you have a ton of surgeries, and let me know what you look like.
Right. And you were saying, but I'm alive.
But that's what I kept saying. I'm like, I'm alive. I go, look, guys, I was like, I didn't do this for you. I'm happy. I'm healthy. So It is what it is.
Right. And you were initially, you got them years ago before this? Mm-hmm. And did you have any problems?
Not really. I mean, I got them first done when I was 22-ish. I got them redone. I did have capsules, and I had a capsulectomy. It's a really common thing that happens. Mm-hmm. And I'm very tiny, so, a capsule just when scar tissue encapsulates the implant. It's a little painful, but it's very common. It's not really a problem. I've had that before, but no major problems until basically this. Yeah. I had an issue with silicone. I had silicone before, mm-hmm. and my body just doesn't like silicone implants. It just didn't really.
And you were saying you originally got them for you, and you kept them mm-hmm. for you, and I'm all for that. I'm glad you did. And are you still getting, I know probably there's both sides of it. Are you still getting any positive stuff for your choices?
I get a lot of positive, but I also get the equal amounts of negatives too. Mm-hmm. Like my inbox on Instagram, I get every single day, I'll get, a good handful of people saying something. But you know what? I used to argue, and then after my whole entire life and fitness change, they're not worth it. I'm not going to spend, hours of my day arguing with people that I'm never going to meet. They're never going to see me. It's just
smart.
They're probably sitting in their house miserable. It's their own demons that they're fighting. So I just mm-hmm. delete. I don't even give them the satisfaction.
Good.
Once in a while, if it's something funny and I'm in a funny kind of mood, I'll give them a little crap back.
Right.
But overall,
right. Yeah. So from let's talk about this kind of whirlwind of craziness that happened, and all the viral effect that it happened, and how people were completely lying about what happened. What was that?
Oh, it was really bizarre. It's a very long recovery if you're lucky enough to recover from sepsis. A good 18 months, almost 2 years, I was just in the recovery mode. And, it's a mental recovery and a physical recovery because you're going through a lot of body changes and, I'm walking around like basically deformed trying to work, and I couldn't work anymore. That was making me a little depressed because I'm a cocktail waitress and my left side is my tray arm. So I tried to go back to work a few times, and I have permanent sutures holding my whole entire chest wall together. So it's a lot of, I dealt with a lot of pain, but I got, somebody got in contact with me from the UK. It was supposed to be a medical magazine. And it was supposed to be this really legitimate, cool story where I can just let them know what happened. And because, it was a medical freak accident, so I was interested. So I signed this paper. I did this whole long interview and didn't think about it for about a month. And then I had a friend from back east tell me, hey, did you go on Snapchat today? I don't have Snapchat. So I joined and I took a look, and I was the top news story on Snapchat. And it said, nipple ring fell out of a cocktail waitress, and she had this bloody episode in her job. And it was just this whole story that wasn't true. Wow. And then when I looked online, it went internationally viral. I mean, there's hundreds of sites in every different language you can imagine, from here to Israel and the Middle East and every language. And I had to translate them all. And I was reading them, and it was just every story was more. It was like the game of telephone. Every story was worse than the last.
Right.
I had people hitting me up from everywhere saying, like, how did this happen? How did you, what? And it was nothing. So I had to do another story, a follow-up.
Right.
I did the follow-up, and I tried to clarify it. And then it went viral again, and it was really no better than the first time.
Oh, my God.
So I said, this is not working out really good.
Did any news outlet cover it properly?
Yeah, finally. My last surgery was, I think, in 2018, 19, a few years ago. Fox News, contacted me. I said, okay. But, I said, I'm healthier now. My brain is, working properly. I said, if I'm going to do one more story, I want to approve it. And if it's not written the way I want a clause where you're going to be I'm going to take legal action for slander or something.
Right.
Because I can't go through this mental anguish of people think going viral is good, but it isn't, it's not good. So the girl was great. She just, my whole entire story, word for word, she published it the right way. And still got a lot of negative backlash.
Of course.
But, it is what it is. But she did the right thing.
And was that on Fox News on TV?
Yeah, Fox News on TV and on, all the news outlets online.
Oh, wow. That's cool. At least you got your story out
Finally.
Right. Wow. That's so crazy. Now, so that's kind of proof that fake news exists, and it also shows that how they twist stories and how they just look for sensationalism.
Yeah,
which sucks for the person has a real issue. So how from there did you get into the gym?
I don't. It's funny. I don't even know. I never really went to the gym before. I've tried, I joined, I didn't go. I was one of those like New Year's people, New Year, new me, and I failed every single time. But this time around, I just, I got my job. I work over at Caesars, and honestly, I was working with women that, the oldest woman that works is probably in her 70s, almost 80. She's been there about 50 years. And she had some arms on her, and I got motivated from her. And I said, all right, she's carrying these big, heavy trays, and I can't do that, and I want to.
Right.
So that was that's what piques my interest. So joined the gym, started working out a little bit, and I liked it. And then I just kept going, but I still had something holding me back, and I didn't know what it was because I couldn't get fit. I was, getting better, but not where I wanted to be. I was always very winded and tired, and I just couldn't do it. And then, the quarantine hit. And that was like a big downfall for me because I was just stuck home, and I drank a lot. And that was really my problem, because everybody was home. I'm sure, people can relate to that. You're home, you're drinking, you're eating. I gained a ton of weight. And then one day I just kind of got tired of being sick and tired.
Right.
And I walked into UFC, and I was scared to death of that gym. And that's what kind of changed everything.
Shout out UFC Fit Silverado.
Yeah.
So you walk into UFC Fit, and you were telling me the other night that you could barely curl 5 pounds?
Yeah.
Like, how many times could you do it when you first?
Maybe like 4 or 5 times. And I just, I was really discouraged because I was one of those people that looks around and I'm watching guys work out and I couldn't focus on me.
Right.
I kept, trying to compete with other people in my head until I realized that I need to start from where I need to start at. And I started with, 5-pound weights, and then I just kept going up as I progressed. And, my personal record is 27 and a half is the max I can curl now per arm.
That's impressive. So let's go to UFC Fit Silverado and see a little bit about those buys that she's got going. Hey, Nikki.
Hey.
So we're at the hack squat machine.
Yes, we are.
And tell me about it.
Well, honestly, I have a love-hate with this machine. It hates me, it loves me, I hate it. But it's really good for you. It's a great leg workout. It helps me actually with work because I'm a cocktail waitress and I'm always squatting. So it's building my squat strength because I can't do a regular squat.
Why?
I probably can, but I tell myself I can.
Okay.
So by the end of this summer, I'm going to be doing regular squats.
Well, let's get into it.
Let's do it. But it works. I never had legs before, and
you have them now. So we're about to get into some arms.
yes,
This is your joint, huh?
this is my favorite.
Okay.
The girls, it's true.
Awesome.
I love it. I don't know how I started. I started with 5-pound weights, and 5 pounds was heavy for me. And I never thought that I would hit double digits. I went to 10, I went to 12.
And now you get the 20s.
Well, 20s are for now because I'm a little sore, but my max, my PR is 27 and a half. I can only do one.
Wow.
I could try to do 25 just for fun.
No, do this way. So you like the vein popping. So I take it you like a muscular look.
Yes.
You probably didn't before.
I actually was always obsessed with the look. I just didn't think that I could ever be there.
Ah.
All my friends, I have pro card holder friends and professional models, and they were always the fit one out of the two.
Uh-huh.
They were like, oh yeah, you guys are both pretty, but that one's fit. I was just determined.
So now we're gonna go do some pull-ups.
Let's do it. My favorite.
Awesome. Wow. You got some biceps there, girl.
My favorite. I love.
So we only did a little bit of legs in that clip, but that particular machine, you have a love-hate relationship.
More hate.
More hate, right? And but you do legs because you know that you need to work the whole body, which is good. So when you learned, you started the gym, you started to learn the different exercises. Did you get a trainer? Did you just, how did you?
YouTube. I just, I wanted to get a trainer, but again, like I said, I was really intimidated. I just, it's real. Like a lot of people don't go to the gym because they're scared, and I was. And even though I looked like I was getting fit, I still was just scared to. I didn't want to do things wrong. And I just didn't know what to do. So I just started watching YouTube, and I was the girl just like reading the instructions on the machines, and I didn't care how it looked at that point, and I just kept practicing. And I was watching other people. Like when I saw a girl that had the body that I wanted, I would kind of, not creepily stare, but kind of learn from them. But yeah, YouTube taught me a lot.
Interesting. Now, before, back in the day, not even that far back in the day, you said during COVID you were drinking a lot. How did what you put into your body change, or has it from then to now?
I think, I mean, everybody has their own opinion on this. I don't think you can be you can't drink and be a fitness person. I mean, socially, maybe once in a while, but for me, that's what was holding me back. I wanted a six pack for as long as I can remember, and I could never get one. Even when I was eating healthy, it just never would be there. And one day I just said, because all my friends were telling me, the fittest friends I have said, stop drinking. And I didn't want to, I'm like, oh, I only drink, I'll cut down, I'll drink vodka, soda, this and that. No, it's just the way alcohol metabolizes in your body. It was holding me back a lot. And it's going to be 10 months and haven't touched alcohol. And within 90 days, even less of me stopping drinking, my abs popped. And I said, you know what, damn it, they're right.
Wow.
I hated to admit it. I got so many I told you so.
And so you stop drinking, and then what type of diet do you do?
Well, I tried all these fad diets. I tried keto and all this stuff. I don't think fad diets are very sustainable. They might help you start losing weight when you want, but I tried keto, my cholesterol shot up. I tried all these different low carb things. I actually just went to my doctor and I said, I can't lose weight. I'm struggling. I have this bloatedness all the time. So my doctor, to my surprise, she's like, want to do an allergy test? I said, okay. And I found out I'm allergic to tons of things like wheat. And I'm not one of the celiac diagnosed people, but I'm actually allergic to wheat, and I'm Italian.
Oh.
So that hurt. And then I'm allergic to dairy. I'm like, okay, great. I said, so lasagna's out. So dairy, I had to cut out all these different random things in my diet. Basically, everything I was eating I was having an inflammatory response to, all in my gut and stomach. So I cut out everything, just cold turkey, and I changed to I eat a meat and potatoes type of person. I eat a lot of just turkey, beef, all kinds of meat, potatoes, rice, very clean.
Love it. Love it.
That's it.
And it's working. Now, what do you want to tell other women that have that same experience? They go in the gym, they're afraid, they don't know how to do it, they're weak. What do you want to tell them?
They need to know that everybody is uncomfortable at the gym. It doesn't matter how buff or tough they look. Everybody has the same mindset. We're all battling something, and we're all awkward. We don't, half of us don't want to be there, and nobody's looking at you. You think they're looking at you, but they're not. So you just have to go and
they might
try.
be looking at you. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, they just have to try and find things that you do things that you like. Everybody thinks they have to do squats. I hate squats. I don't do them because I don't like them. I found alternatives. I like the leg press. I do different things. If you go in and do all these things that you hate because you think you have to do them, you're not going to go.
Right.
So I found that, I found my favorite cardio machine. I like stairs at the time when I started. So I did that instead of the bike or walking, worked out outside. But I just kept going until they say it's about 2 weeks to build a habit. And that's what happened. I gave myself a good habit.
And you just found a new jam at UFC Fit Silverado. You took a boxing class, or?
Yeah, I took, so another thing, women, a lot of women I know too, they're scared of classes, and I was one of them. I don't know why. It was this irrational fear that I had. Thought I was going to fall or hurt myself. I mean, I kind of hurt myself, but I beat the crap out of this bag. I took kickboxing conditioning with their coach Mo, and he was great. He's like, I told him it was my first time, said I might trip over myself. He said, it's okay,
Right.
And they were great. So I signed up. I'm going to go a few times a week now.
Awesome.
Great cardio.
Yeah. But women don't only do cardio. You need to lift as well.
You burn more with lifting weights.
Yeah. So let's take a look at something that also blew me away over at UFC Fit Silverado, the stuff she did on the pull-up bar. I'm so impressed that I saw you on Instagram doing pull-ups, and I just got to see them.
Yeah, it's my favorite. That was my ultimate fitness goal when I joined the gym, was to be able to do one pull-up. And I learned on the assisted machine. I just kept doing them, and just one day I realized that I wasn't assisting. It was just my weight. What supported me was the knee thing. I'm like, you know what? And I kicked the thing off and I did a pull-up and I almost cried. I was so happy.
That is awesome. Give me some.
Once you're doing the negatives are really hard.
Yeah. Impressive. So we're going to do abs here?
Yes.
The same spot?
Same spot.
But your arms are blowed out.
They are, but we keep going.
Okay.
I do hanging knee raises.
Uh-huh.
I just started doing these actually because I was using the ab machine and I got up to 245 and I was like, it was good, but I felt like I could do more because once that gets easy at 105 for me and I'm 99, 98 pounds, this is hard. So that's why I started doing this.
I love it.
My arms shake and I feel the burn. It's good for your lower abs to get that V that everybody always wants. This is it.
How many sets you do usually?
I try to do 5-6 sets per exercise.
Okay.
So I'm at the gym usually an hour and a half.
Okay.
But some days when I'm really going for it and I'm well rested, I go to failure to everything. I'll start at 25s and then 22s and 17 until I just completely, I'm just on fire.
Wow.
And then I leave and I feel like the Incredible Hulk when I have everything popping out.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yes.
Wow. I was talking to George, the guy that was video shooting that, and I was like, I can't do pull-ups that cleanly. You're just so smooth and slow, and like, those are awesome.
I love them. They're my favorite.
And then you had another goal towards the end of the summer. You want to start squatting.
Yes.
Or do you have a squat number that you want to hit?
I don't have a number. I try not to give myself numbers. I want to be able to cleanly do squats, even with no weight, just the bar, just so that I'm comfortable.
Which is 45 pounds.
Yeah, and that's a good start.
That's
and then
half your weight.
Once I can do that, then I'll work on weight.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, squats are really good. I have a whole Gio gets his move back thing that I'm doing because I had 3 knee surgeries.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm trying to get back to doing heavy squats, and it's really hard when you have knee surgeries.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the kind of the backlash that you're getting the most out of just the way you look and now the change that you've done, and what are the negative comments that you're getting, and what are the positive comments that you're getting?
I get I love the positive comments. And then a lot of the positive comments are from, complete strangers. Strangers are your biggest supporters. It's great.
Right.
Unfortunately, during my whole fitness change, I did lose a lot of friends because I can't even say why. It just, when you make changes, people either they're on board or they're not, and a lot of them weren't. So it really gave me a good perspective on who my real friends were, because I got to see who was there when I told them that, I'm not going to drink anymore. And it was quick to see who didn't invite me out anywhere because, Nikki doesn't drink, she's boring. Okay, I'm boring, but I have my abs now, so leave me alone.
Right.
But online, I just, like I said, I just ignore the negative people. It's always just strangers are either good or bad, but the people that give me a lot of the hate, it's always like anonymous pages or people where you can tell if I scroll through their page, they're just very negative. They just do that to everybody.
Yeah. And how does the new you affect you as far as confidence and
I like that question.
Yeah.
My whole life changed. I feel so much better, like the mental clarity, and I used to have like very bad anxiety. A lot of people do. I still do a little bit, but I have a different outlook on life. I just take things day by day. I feel good and like the way my body feels. I just feel healthy. I don't have like the weird pains. I always had stomach aches. Everything always hurt. And I feel like a combination of the not drinking and the fitness, I'd rather have sore knuckles and sore biceps than a hangover.
Right. And it was so important that you did those allergy tests to really find out how what you put in your body is affecting it affects not only your health, but it affects your mood. So that food that you're eating could have, made everything worse, the anxiety, the, bad moods, all that stuff. So yeah, people, you really need to get some tests. You said you did blood work. Get your allergy tests, because the food that you're eating might be causing your depression, your anxiety. Food is so powerful, and people don't even realize it.
Yeah, even if you think you're eating healthy, I mean, if you're drinking almond milk and you're doing all this stuff, what if,
you're allergic to almond milk?
Then you're giving yourself, a mess.
Right, you're allergic to almond milk and wheat, and you're eating whole wheat bread and almond milk, and it's just I just can't stress it enough. I'm so glad you did that, and it's paying off, which is awesome. So you talked about your career, what you're doing as far as cocktail waitressing. You've talked about offline, you talked about maybe becoming a personal trainer. What's going on in your mind? What are you thinking about doing now that you're...
I never, if you asked me 5 years ago where I would be, I would not say here. My cocktail waitress job is great. I love it. I work in the summer at the pool, but I do love fitness. So I started the process. I did buy the monstrous book, and I love it. I think that's a road that I might explore, in the near future, because, I love my gym. And wow, if I can work at, maybe UFC one day and be a trainer, I would love that. I'd actually even want, people ask me this too, I would want to train the senior citizens and do like the silver sneakers, because I love older people that want to stay in shape, because they listen and they want to stay as young as they possibly can.
You were talking about a guy that you do train with. How old was he again?
Oh, he's 84.
Wow. Talk about that. How did that happen?
Yeah, he's great. I actually met him at another gym, and he came over to me because he liked my nails, and we were talking. He used to be a dealer. And then one day I looked up, and he was at UFC. So I went over to him, I go, "What are you doing here?" He says, "I joined." He said, "I like this gym." And he's there every single day. And when I'm not, I'll get a text, "Why aren't you at the gym?" And, if that doesn't motivate you, if an 84-year-old man texting you, "Where are you?" doesn't motivate you to go to the gym, I don't know what would.
Wow. Wow, that's so cool. Do we have some of the after pictures? So that's at the pool.
Yeah, that's that's in front of Neptune Pool, but it's Caesar's Pool. I work in Venus. It's on the other side of that.
And then what else we got up there? Another pic at the same pool.
These are a few pictures that we took on 4th of July. We escaped.
Cool. And that was this last 4th of July?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you had abs there.
Yes. In the summer, they show a lot. Partially dehydration induced.
That's awesome. Coming from where you came from in that hospital to this and pushing through all that, it just, you said it earlier, it's like if the 84-year-old guy is at the gym every day, or you're at the gym and you change your whole life and health by going to the gym, it really makes it hard. It should make it hard for people to make excuses on why they don't want to go to the gym because they're tired or,
People make excuses, but I mean, you're only screwing yourself, really. I did it for years, and I get it. I get all the reasons why you tell yourself not to go. But I went, 5:00 in the morning, I'll be at the gym all summer. I go before work because I know after work I'm not going to go.
Right. You got to set yourself up for success. So anything else going on for you with your career, life, personal training? Are you ever thinking about doing a competition?
I'm teetering on the idea. A lot of my friends and a lot of people at the gym tell me I should. I might. I mean, I'm with Team Cutler. I'm one of their ambassadors for their products. I'm already taking that.
Oh, cool.
I was looking at the Cutler Classic. I might.
Yeah.
Definitely thinking about it.
So you're a Cutler ambassador and you haven't even done a show yet.
No.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, I had Angie, his fiance on the show, and she gave me some product. I really like their stuff.
It's really good. I take it every day.
Yeah.
When I go to the gym, it helps. I need a little oomph,
You do the pre-workout? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I like their protein powders as well. They're really
I like
good.
that they have a vegan protein powder because I can't use whey or dairy. So.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah, I had to substitute literally everything that I was taking. So.
Wow, Cutler Nutrition. Shout out. That's a good stuff.
It is. I like it.
Well, this has been great. I think it will inspire people to stop making excuses. I hope it brings a lot of love to you and not hate, because that's what I'm all about.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And actually for your openness. That's, because it's, some people might get jaded by all that and don't want to keep telling the story that gets all the negative feedback, but you stepped up and did it. That was great. That was great. Well, people, like I always say, like, share, and until next time, Fit Fam, I'm out.
I can feel the